Welcome, selectors, to Weekly Wharf Wixoss. We got an exciting showdown for you today, and 3 Summer Success and her Beachside Fun are taking on the Hirana Dash starter deck. Will Anne keep the chill party vibes going, or will Hirana bring her winter vacation to an abrupt end? Find out coming up next on Weekly Wharf Wixoss. Welcome to the Gamers Wharf in Granville, Michigan. Here our selectors will do battle to determine this week's Weekly Wharf Wixoss champion. Let's start by introducing the Elrigs taking center stage today. On the blue side, we have Hirana a step towards the top. An aggressive Elrig will burn through your life cloth before you even know it. Please note that this is the starter deck from the Double Heroine set. Her pieces include Go to the Top for Enter, Burn, and deck searching, and Entwined Supremacy for life cloth damage and burst canceling. Her assists include Machina for Signy removal and recursion, and Tama for Signy bounce and an extra Elrig attack, part of the Hirana combo. Blink and you'll miss it, this Hirana deck packs a punch. Next, let's meet our challenger on the red side. And 3 Summer Success is an aggressive enter manipulating Elrig who can play both offensive and defensive. By storing good Signy or servants in her enter, she can call upon them at the right time. She also offers protection for the most powerful Signy. Additionally, she has access to the powerful Fasone magic crafts. Her pieces include Happiness Float for Signy recursion and S-Lancer, or for a deck refresh and enter charge, and Silent Assassin to sneak through damage with Assassin. Assisting her today, we have Yuzuki for Signy removal and enter burn, and Ange for Signy bounce and Signy trashing. Don't sleep on this deck, as it has many ways to get to your life cloth. Before we begin, a few things to note. These are casual matches played at our weekly in-store event. Any mistakes are corrected if caught. We welcome any feedback, including ruling clarifications, questions, or concerns. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Your suggestions may make it on a future episode of Weekly Wharf Wixoss. With that being said, we hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Weekly Wharf Wixoss. Our selectors are making their final preparations. The Elrigs have taken up their positions. The stock crowd noise is cheering. So let's get ready to battle. And we are off. Red has won the dice roll and will be going first. Red starts off by drawing a card and then enter charging and growing to level 1. Red then plays a Barbarian in the top lane and passes the turn, leaving 2 lanes open for blue. Blue can either try to remove the Barbarian or just attack in the 2 open lanes. Blue enter charges and grows to level 1. Blue then plays an X-Axe in the top lane of Vanilla 5k. Blue also plays the Samidare in the middle lane and plays Tama Loud Voice to bounce the Barbarian back to Red's hand. Moving on to the attack phase, Blue attacks with X-Axe first, revealing a burst. This burst is pay 2 Vanish Signy, which Red cannot pay. Then Blue attacks with Samidare, revealing a non-burst. And finally attacks with Hirana, which is blocked by a servant. After the first attack phase, Blue dealt Red 2 damage. These early turns are crucial for Red to establish a lead before Hirana does too much damage and ends the game early. Red enter charges and grows Anne to level 2. Next, Red plays Yuzuki Garnet to vanish the X-Axe. The enter burn effect does not trigger as the deck is all red. Next, Red plays Decarabia in the bottom lane of Vanilla 10k, followed by a Barbarian in the center lane not paying for her enter effect, and a Lancelot in the top lane paying for her vanish effect, 5k or less. Moving to the attack phase, Barbarian swings first, revealing a non-burst. Next, Lancelot swings, revealing yet another non-burst. And then Decarabia swings, revealing a third non-burst. Finally, Anne swings, which is blocked by a servant. That is a good early burst of damage from Red. This is the kind of pressure you need to pressure Hirana decks to beat them before they beat you. Blue chooses not to enter charge and grows to level 2. Blue will be looking to do some damage on this turn to set up for the Hirana 1-turn kill on the next turn. Starting off, blue plays Machina Slash to vanish the barbarian in the center lane, picking up the X-Axe from the trash. Looks like blue is contemplating another assist this turn. We have a main phase Machina Smash, as Hirana is looking to get as much damage in this turn as possible. This smash is used on the Decarabia to clear the bottom lane. Blue plays an X-Axe in the top lane, a Hanyo in the bottom lane, and a Fornax in the middle lane. Their effects are not being used here as damage is the key. We are now moving to the attack phase where X-Axe clears the Lancelot. Hanyo attacks, revealing a Servant burst, getting back a Servant to Red's hand. Next, Fornax attacks in the center lane, revealing a burst. Another failed burst, as there are no targets for the Vanish 7k or more burst effect. Finally, Hirana swings, which is blocked by the Servant that was picked up. Things are getting very dangerous for Red, as 3 life cloth left is not a lot, and Hirana can easily burst that down. Red chooses not to enter charge and grows to level 3. Moving to the main phase, Anne's effect triggers, getting a Servant back from the enter zone. Next, Red plays Assist Ange level 1, bouncing the Hanyo back to Blue's hand. Next, Red plays Barbarian in the center lane. They initially pay Barbarian's enter cost, but take it back and make a different play. They follow that up by playing Hanyo in the top lane, awakening it, giving it plus 5k power. Hanyo also has an effect at the beginning of the attack phase, discarding 2 cards to vanish Signy with power less than it. Red then plays a Wolf Moreira in the bottom lane. Red is setting up a board for potentially a big Lancer combo attack. And there it is, Red's first piece, Happiness Float. Not using the first effect to get to Signy, but using the second effect to give everything on the board S-Lancer. Differing from normal Lancer, that it can assign the final damage and win the game, where normal Lancer cannot do that. Unfortunately, there's not enough damage on Red's side of the board to win the game on this turn, so they will have to play a little defensively to try to survive the next turn. Next, Red pays an exceed cost of 4 to get the Fasone Magic Craft from Anne's ability. Red really needs to dig deep here, try to find as many servants as possible to hopefully survive this next turn. They choose white to get a servant back from the trash, and blue to draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. They immediately play white to get back a servant from the trash, as they will need it next turn. Red activates Anne's once per turn ability to give Shadow level 3 or more to the Hanyo in the top lane. We then move immediately to the attack phase, choosing not to activate Hanyo's ability. Hanyo vanishes the X-Axe and lancers damage over to not a burst. Next, the Barbarian lancers through the Fornax, hitting a Servant burst, getting a Servant back to hand. And finally, the Wolf attacks, revealing another burst. The burst is pay 1 to vanish any Signy on your opponent's field. This does get past the Shadow, as it's Shadow level 3 or more. Red will end up falling 2 damage short, as this Elray attack is blocked by a Servant, and the turn passes back over to blue. This is it. This is the big burst turn for Hirana. Let's see if they'll be able to get the 4 damage they need to win this match. They start by not intercharging and growing to level 3. Hirana does draw a card and enter charge 1 when she enters. Just remember, guys, that this is the pre-con Hirana deck. The actual full power Hirana deck can be much, much more scary. Blue starts their turn off by playing Go to the Top. This will enter burn the 2 enter that Red has, bringing him down to 0 enter, making it much more difficult for Red to mount a defense against this onslaught. Blue ends up choosing a Flathrow from the Go to the Top's other effect. Go to the Top is a pretty strong piece here, both giving you another Signy to attack with and removing any enter that your opponent may have. Next, blue plays Tama Aura, the first part of the Hirana Dash combo, and Entwined Supremacy piece for the second part of the Hirana combo. We will go over this combo before we get to the attack phase. Blue then plays a Yuzuki with a Nobunaga on top, giving blue a 13k body that then vanishes the Barbarian in front of it. Red momentarily loses track where the enter zone is. And blue plays a Flathrow in the top lane. Finally, blue plays a Hanyo level 2 in the bottom lane to go up against the wolf. Blue then activate Hiranas once per game for the third part of the Hirana combo. The Hirana combo involves attacking with Hirana, Entwined Supremacy triggering, then Hirana's ability triggering, upping Hirana, then Hirana's initial attack hits, with Hirana's second attack coming from Tama's ability. Blue also gave Nobunaga Double Crush. Red plays Yuzuki Anderson to vanish the Flathrow. And the attacks are commencing. The Hanyo attacks in the bottom lane, underswinging. And then Nobunaga attacks in the middle with a Double Crush, revealing 2 of the same non-burst cards. We are moving on to the Hirana attack now. First, the Entwined Supremacy goes off, putting red in danger. Then Hirana's ability goes off, doing another damage. Red discards a Servant. But the attack damage from Hirana goes through, and blue wins the game, with 1 additional damage to spare. The Hirana dash combo was able to get there in the end. It was a very close game, however. A few of those early bursts go in a different direction. This is a very different game. But you have to respect the Hirana burst combo. 4 damage, that is not something easily dealt with. Looking at the scoreboard, Anne had 3 bursts and Hirana had 2. However, 2 of Red's bursts did not actually activate, so that's pretty rough for Red. Looking at some more advanced stats, Red used 3 servants, Blue used 2, neither deck refreshed. Red had 14 total enter generated, and Blue had 12. I would like to thank you again for watching this episode of Weekly Wharf Wixoss. We hope you enjoyed, and see you on the next one.